I'd often said to a man, when you hit her, who do you think was in charge? When he stopped to think about it, he'd say, once I'd hit her, she was in a powerful position, because then I would plead and beg and ask for another chance. So the perpetrator became the victim became the perpetrator. You see, it's complicated, but we never really discuss it.
With every presentation of domestic violence you'll see anywhere in the media, all we're shown is the end point of an incident. Typically this will be a picture of a bruised woman and a description of exactly how a man hurt a woman, and that's it. Finito. And this we call news. We never get to see the man. We never get to see the other guy.
Of the first 100 women that she had in the refuge, 62 of them, she said, were actually more violent or as violent as the men that put them there.
I realised it wasn't a gender issue. And I knew that from personal experience, because although both my parents were violent, dysfunctional, my mother was physically a lot more violent to me than my father. So I came to the whole subject with an open mind. And as I took the women in, I looked at the first 100 women that had came in with their children. And of the first 100, 62 could be described as violent as the partners that they left. So it never has been a gender issue, but the political problem at the time, which is something I've never been able to get out into the open, is that the feminist movement, having formed itself in late 1969-70, never got the kind of support it needed financially, because it was so extreme.
Up till then, the women, they were burning their bras and doing all sorts of silly things, making fools of themselves, and they were a joke. But then finally they hit on the topic that gave them the credibility they so badly needed, and it also gave them the funding.
I knew the moment that I started taking in women and children that it would be hijacked. They were very, very highly organised Marxist groups of women of one sort or another, and sure enough, in 1974 we called a very small conference to encourage other groups to set up refuges. They invaded it.
They came, literally walked into the hall with all their leather gear on and all the rest of it, up on the platform, shouted and barracked. They had all their placards outside, all men are rapists, all men are bastards. She said they were quite violent women.
And began a voting system which by the end usurped our position as the national organisation and took it over. And the tragedy was that from then onwards these lies and false figures and statistics have been disseminated internationally through the Western world, and men have been deemed as perpetrators, not because they happen to be violent, but because they happen to be men.
Even if we did see the man, what could this tell us? Women bruise more easily than men. Basically for the same punch or kick, a woman's face will swell up and discolour far more impressively than a man's. So that must make her the victim, right?
It's exactly the same. I mean, if a woman smacks a man in the face with a fist, he probably won't even be bruised. Majority of women are nothing like as physically strong as a man. He will be just as hurt and as abused as if he hit her. Had he hit her, she would be severely bruised. It's only a difference in physical size.
Much of what we think about domestic violence seems to be predicated on three things. Women are victims, men are perpetrators. Men are much stronger than women, and so it's always wrong for a man to hit a woman. There's never a reason for a man to hit a woman. The police choose to operate under this flawed understanding of domestic violence, and is a reason why men are put into impossible situations when women are violent. In this society of ours, where women claim that they want equality with men, we have this strange idea that men must at all times behave better than women because men are physically stronger. Women in particular seem to believe this deeply. It's as if women see themselves like children, who can do whatever they like, including being violent and aggressive towards men. But men must be like the adults in a relationship.
One of the main changes that has to come is that if we want to talk about any form of emancipation, liberation, equality for women, then there has to be equality of responsibility.